Hey, what's up, y'all? Jay here. So, kind of catching up on some stuff. Was doing a little bit of traveling last week and whatnot. So, Lesbian Hold Me Season 4. This is review for episodes 3 and 4. 3 and 4, episode 4, cool. Like, episode 3 more or less, was more or less Bruce dealing with the fact that his girl's going to be moving to Atlanta. They were trying to figure that out, like what they were, them coming to an understanding of what the actual terms of their relationship was. You know, how Bruce seen it and how, you know, people were kind of bringing certain things to Bruce's attention, like, yo, you didn't let her know, you know, she made a decision based off of where she seen you guys were at versus, you know, what it actually was, and you're going off of this whole thing not really helping her understand it. So of course she's gonna make, you know, certain decisions. Then we have E and Reese, who they kind of get into just this cycle of smashing, we'll just say. I think during the course of the episode they smashed like 5 times or 4 or 5 times, whatever. That's their trajectory in this episode. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened this episode. You know, there's a little funny scene when Bruce is with his friend and Zara, and then her twin sister name is Zora, I believe. And she says she's coming in town and, you know, stuff like that. So there's going to be another person introduced, which, honestly, that was the no, that was not the bulk of the episode. Bruce ends up coming across Reese out and about. I think he's working out or something, and he sees her, and then they end up being at the same, like the Italian food place that they went on a date on way back. You know, so they ended up sitting and chopping it up, talking there and everything. So that was pretty much episode 3. Not a great one though. I'm gonna be honest. You know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It wasn't the best. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't the best episode, but it wasn't bad though. And there was one of the best. I had a really good laugh the whole point of where his homeboys telling him like, hey, her twin sister looked like that, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. I thought that was funny. So, but that was episode 3. Episode 4 is more or less a few things happen. A few things happen in episode 4. Because at the end of episode 3, the one girl, I forget her name. 1 second. Yeah, I think her name is Selena. She was dating a friend of Jaws, and, you know, which was doing. At the end of the last episode, she walks in her boyfriend's crib, and there's a woman in the shower. So we start with this, kind of picking up there. We find out that is weird thing that I've noticed that they're doing with this series. A lot of this is like high school connection stuff, right? Because she's like, oh, that's your ex from high school. Bruce with the girl Zara, they're like, hey, back in high school. It's like, are y'all really holding on to high school stuff like that? Like, I mean, I'm guessing these people in this show are in their late 20s, early 30s for the show. Which, you know what, around that time, I could see still, you know, uncover ground, or, you know, maybe didn't get to seal certain deals or didn't get to see stuff. Like, okay, so that kind of makes sense. But everybody, like, goddamn. But anyways, so she's mad at him, understandably so. For having a woman in the crib, even though he's like, hey, I tried to call you, didn't answer, you had me on D&D, which she did, but she's still acting the whole way, which, yeah, that'll happen. I've had people feel the whole way towards me for less, so I can only imagine if my girl would have come home and there was a woman in the shower. That was somebody I used to talk to. He got off light with her reaction, but that's beside the point. So that's going on there. E and Reese are still kind of doing their thing. E goes to take Reese out. She wants to start, you know, you could kind of tell E's like, yo, let's push this a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going on and whatnot. You know, she does that. Her ex and, you know what I'm saying, little, you know what I'm saying, baby D show up or whatever and get to being on some different stuff, take a picture of her and Reese kissing because they're going to try to expose them or something like that later, which, you know, could seem that definitely, you know, something that's going to happen. You have Bruce, and I believe her name's Nadia. They start to kind of figure out their situation a little bit, but she's in Atlanta now, and she's working in the studio, and just like every, you know, situation like that, dude seen she's in the city. This guy that he works for her, I believe, wants to take her out. You know what he's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in Atlanta, Bruce in LA. There's no, like, at that point, he, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, there's no physical consequence. There's no consequence from him hollering at you, even though he know you got a man. Now, if you feed into it, that's you. Just like Bruce is feeding into Zora being back because he sees Zora, he thinks his Zola, whatever the twins, the ZZ girls. He sees her, gets to chopping up with her. I'm pretty sure Nadia wouldn't like that. You know what I mean? But so it's getting ready to get messy. Here the messiness is coming. I still ain't seen Tay, so I'm hoping next episode they kind of follow up on Tay because I'm still kind of curious about his whole situation. But this was actually, I like this episode better than episode 3. I like episode 4. Episode 3 was cool. It wasn't bad, but it was just kind of, yeah, but I could see they're putting certain things in place to build to something higher. You know, they're dropping the breadcrumbs. You know what I mean? So that's cool. So, Lesbian Homie, episodes 3 and 4, we're cool. We're cool. There was a couple parts where I had some good laughs. Got a couple of breadcrumbs, like I said, building the story. There's a few things that help, you know what I mean? And looking forward to seeing how a couple of things go. I actually have no idea on, especially with Bruce. Right now, literally, Bruce has 3 people that are possibilities. So yeah, so looking forward to episode 5, and I'll be doing the review of episode 5 afterwards. Like I said, just been doing some traveling and whatnot. So, but hey, my name is Jay. Give me a like, comment, subscribe. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Check out some of our older stuff, our current stuff we're doing, like doing this. I'm currently doing Squid Games. We're currently doing Love Island. We got a few things coming up. You know what I'm saying? So check us out and holla at us.